Hi Dale, great to meet up with you as always and do some work on your game. In regards to your assessment, when we looked at your putting stroke originally, we had quite a bit of manipulation going on. The putter was changing shape, if you will, through the hitting area. I'll forward the data from the Tommy system to you in regards to that for you to have a little look over and digest. One of the things we noticed was at setup there was quite a distinct difference between the angle of your forearm and the angle of the putter shaft. So the first thing we tried to do was balance that out, and you can see here that in order for you to achieve that, we want to maybe look at flattening the lie of your putter. Now, I know on the thread that we started on the forum, one of the things that Phil Kenyon was saying was that the lie of the putter wasn't that important, so you could achieve that same forearm and shaft relationship for the reasons outlined in the thread with a putter that's a standard lie. And I agree totally, and I'm not disregarding the information they put forward, but what I would say is if you've got a flatter putter, all you need to do when you're out on a golf course is sit the putter flat, put the hands on the club, on the forearm, and the shaft will line up. So that from my own personal standpoint, I think flattening off the putter would be a good place for you to start. Once you did that, what we're able to do then was work a lot on releasing the putter. One of the things we found, I mean, you don't do it here, this is late in your session when you're comparing the two setups, you can see the putter arcs back in after the hit. And with the putter sitting slightly flatter, that's easier to achieve, so you can achieve that with less manipulation. Nice arc on the way back, gently arcing on the way through. So there's a release of the putter head, if you will. So the putter, because the putter doesn't sit vertically, there has to be a little bit of arc. And when we get a situation like we see on the top left where the arms are in a position to make an arc and the shaft is being sat to vertical, there's going to be a compromise, and the putter is never going to be swung consistently on an arc. So an arc, but a slight arc, is what we're looking for. And we talked about spending quite a lot of time hitting putts with just your right hand to get a feel for keeping the club lower to the ground and arcing on the way through. And as I said, I've got some comparisons that I've done for you that are in your folder along with the Tommy data to back that up. So, that's your work on the putter, really. Get the putter sitting much better, and then work on the arc of your stroke and getting that nice centered strike, as opposed to, I think if memory serves me right, I'm not going to in front of me, trending towards the toe end on your bad one. In regards to the swing, a couple of key areas for you. First of all, in the backswing, we need to control accumulator 4 on the way back. And you can see here on the way back, later in your session, we're controlling the length that the left arm travels much better. Now, the reason I say you want to control the length of the left arm in this situation is because the body's not really done that much different. There's the same amount of turn and extension and tilt on both of those swings. What we've got here is a tendency to sort of just lift to the top. And as you know, once the arms start lifting to the top, if we're not careful, it can become very, very chaotic during the downswing. So if you wanted the club to travel further than we see here on the bottom centre screen, what I'd rather do is turn, extend and left tilt more to propel the butt of the club further, rather than just swinging accumulator 4 more. So controlling the length that accumulator 4 travels from P1 to P4. And then we worked on lowering the exit. Now here we're just trying to hit the ball hard and stop quick. We were exiting through the neck at the start of the session. Accumulator 4 I'd like to see stopping there. We get a little bit longer on this one. This is again just focusing on another aspect of it, so I'm not going to read too much into that, as long as we appreciate. Ideally that's where we want you. There's a little bit of a lift to the top. You see the right arm just sort of coming away from the rib cage ever so slightly. But now we want to learn to stop quick. The act of stopping quick lowers the exit. Once the exit is lowered, we can start to look at other things in your swing to reposition the club at P6, etc, etc. But really, one of the things that you need to control excuse me, on a consistent basis is the exit of the golf club. So assessing your swing at this moment in time based on the work that we've been doing, we're much better through the ball from face on. We're much better at the top. We've not got as sort of from down the line, we've not got as many angles that are changing and increasing like we used to have when we first started working together. But now we want to learn to stop a little bit quicker on the way through, controlling the exit. It also starts to introduce a little bit of flex back into the pelvis, starts to get the right shoulder to work differently in the early part of the downswing, lines the club up better at 6. A little bit of face rotation as you come through, but don't worry too much about that for now. The exit through, helping you maintain your inclination a little bit better than you did at the start of your assessment. Now, one of the things you asked was, how would you then prevent the head from lifting any more than it already does? So as we come down now, we see that the head comes away from the wall and up, but not as much as it did. It's still happening. So we ask you to hit a shot here with as much flex forward in the downswing as you could possibly get. Let's have a look at the effect. Let's reposition that line down, I beg your pardon. So this is you as much flex forward as you could possibly get. And you can see that whilst the head comes away from the wall a little bit, it's actually inside the box for longer. So the answer to your question would be, to keep the head in the box, we've got to introduce some flex. But we've actually got the flex going back in the pelvis. We've got the shoulders working on a different plane when we do that. The big change for me there is the angle of the hips as you change direction. So it's almost like we've got to get the pelvis flexing back forward. We've got some flex going back into the thoracic in the early part of the downswing as well. Just tag that up. Now as you flex further forward, you see the club coming out in front of you on the bottom right. How would you get the club more in line with the hands? You'd introduce a little bit more hip slide. But flexing forward will help you, or introducing a little bit more flexion at the correct point will start to get your head back in the box. So that was just touching on the question that you asked towards the end of your session. Having said that, excuse me, the main area of concern for me would be initially to control accumulator 4 on the way back, and then work on exiting lower by stopping quicker. And I can assure you that as you start to stop quicker and as you start to lower that exit, you will start to see a little bit more of a flexing forward as you transition, and you may even start to see a little bit more hip slide. As you progress with this, Dale, what I'd also like to see you do is stop quick and max out the right tilt. So this image here on the top right with a little bit more right tilt. So again, that would be a nice thought for you to introduce that little bit of a flex and a side bend, if you will, in the finish. And again, the act of stopping quick with maximum right tilt will start to introduce other things into your swing that you very much need. Good luck with it, and I look forward to working further with you in the coming months. Well done.